Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to Just Wing It with Blake and Jamie. Blake should be here shortly. Hi Paprika, how are you? I hope your day's been well. Oh, and here is Blake. Hi Blake.
Hello, hello. How is everyone?
Good, how about you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just got back to the house. I was redecorating. Grandma made me some lunch or dinner. I got chicken sandwiches tonight and some chips. And
Mmm.
just hanging out today.
Oh, good, good. I'm good, Paprika, thanks.
Today I went and bought this new addition that I wanted to the man cave. Uh,
Oh no.
yeah, I don't know if you can see it really, but we put
Oh no.
a little arcade machine in here.
Which game is it?
It's Blitz.
Oh, I don't know if I know that one.
It's a football game.
Oh, that's why I
Yeah.
don't know it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that's all. We could do like 15-second ronos.
uh, oh, it's looking good, Blake. Looking
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Did a good job on all the murals.
Yeah, they look pretty nice. I mean, you can kind of see two of them in the background. I like how I reconfigured. I moved all my TV stuff over to this corner instead of that corner now, and it's gonna look great. It's gonna look great. I'm excited.
So, what does your fiance think about this?
She has her own room.
Because she'll never see you. You'll live in the man cave. She'll be like, I never see you.
I'll be like, you should have never let me have this.
Well, it sounds like you didn't give her a choice.
Well, no, that did. You're right.
Oh my goodness. So what did you eat, Paprika, for dinner tonight? I had the hotel salad again, and they had chicken noodle soup today.
Ugh, drag.
Hey, it's better than my normal dinners that I
It
get.
sounds like something I would just eat whenever I'm sick only. I would never eat that by choice, you know?
Hey, it's the free meal on Wednesday night. Can't beat
Right.
that.
If it's
Hi,
free,
Dee Dee.
then, can't really say
Yeah.
much. but,
How you doing, Dee Dee? What did you eat for dinner tonight? I am so tired, everyone. Tomorrow we have our routine visitors to come in and for our stroke program. So they're just going to evaluate the stroke program,
uh-huh.
and that'll be for the next 2 days. I'm so tired. It's going to be 2 long days. And then next week we're anticipating the surveyors coming for the whole hospital. So I really hope they don't come next week, but They
Well, we
probably
can we
will.
can cut tonight's podcast short if you need to, so you can get
Oh,
some sleep.
oh, I'm good. Whatever.
I don't want you to be too tired. Did she freeze up? Are you frozen? Oh, she froze on us, guys. But I've been super busy. We've had a lot going on right now. A lot around the world, lots of music, and there's some good artists out right now that are making. Uh, I like Taylor Swift's newest album, and Bon Jovi just released a new album. It was pretty good. I don't know how many of you are
Oh,
music heads like me.
all right. I went out for some reason, but now I'm back.
There you are. You're back.
Okay, so Didi had some pasta and paprika had sausage and cabbage. That sounds
Oh,
good
I
too.
hate cabbage. Ugh.
I love cabbage. My
No
favorite,
way.
my favorite is for St. Patrick's Day, the corned beef and cabbage. Oh, that's so yummy.
I've never been a cabbage fan.
Oh my
It's just
goodness.
not my
Mm.
thing.
Well, Ken's gonna have to make me some corned beef and cabbage. That's just making me sounds yummy.
I am super like I'm just so hungry. I've noticed ever since I've been with Natalie. I guess she just feeds me all the time, and now I've realized that I'm hungrier more than I'm usual. I was trying to figure out. I guess that's the best way to say it. I'm hungrier.
Well, maybe it's because she's a good cook and she feeds you.
Somebody's finally feeding me. I never fed myself.
But like when I'm at the hotel, I don't eat very much because there's nothing that's like appetizing. But when I go home, I just want to eat nonstop, and that's just when
Yeah.
Ken feeds me.
Dee Dee and Paprika, I want to thank you guys for being two of our most loyal followers. You guys are here almost every week. You don't miss
Yes,
a beat, and I love it. Thank you so much.
yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Well, what was this week? Ba, 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 ba.
Shawshank Redemption.
That's right. It was so good too. Every time I watch this movie, it gets better and better and better.
hmm I
I can't
actually
think. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I can't think of another movie that I could genuinely sit and think there's no pee break in this movie. Like all of it is interesting all the way through. I
I
loved it.
agree. I always so I always reference the Shawshank Redemption whenever I'm teaching my classes and stuff because like people are like get complacent in their jobs, right? When they're watching, patients and stuff like that, especially the suicidal patients. They are supposed to sit there and watch the patient. Well, sometimes, you might see someone on their phone or they might, you know, not be paying attention to the patient and they might be like, oh, well, they're sleeping, oh, they're whatever. So I always use the reference to Shawshank Redemption. I said, patients are like the Shawshank Redemption. They are watching every move that you're doing,
Uh
and
huh.
they're planning their next move, whether it's an escape plan or it's to injure themselves or it's to do whatever they're going to do, because they have nothing but time.
Oh, it looks like some stuff came in the mail already.
Oh,
Ding, 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 ding. What do we got here?
oh,
What is this?
you grew up Hungarian, paprika.
Oh, it's Billy. Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. This is for work.
But and so I'm always like, just like on Shawshank Redemption, they thought he was this great person helping them out, and they weren't even thinking that he was planning an escape plan. So
No, and it's not like, he started planning his escape after he found out that the young boy had been murdered, or he had been, shot and killed. He had been doing this since before then,
yep,
because he used that rock hammer, and
yep.
like, it's just, nobody suspected it. I don't even think he himself expected it at the beginning when he got it. He genuinely probably just wanted it to make rocks and stuff, and then found out, oh,
Well,
I
when he
can.
well, that's when he was because he was carving his name, and remember a piece of
Right,
the wall
right,
came up.
right. And then he's like, oh, maybe this will work.
Yeah.
But
Um.
I don't buy that part very much. It's really that is the only hole, like, in this whole story for me, is you're telling me after all these years he never got pulled out of that cell. The guards never pulled one of them posters down. Like, I mean, because from my understanding, whenever you go to prison, you go from like cell to cell to cell from time to time. They'll change you around and stuff, and they
They
do
pro-
that they for this reason. So,
but remember he was helping the guards out, and so they probably were like, yeah, okay, we didn't see anything, and didn't think to check behind the wall. I mean,
I
what are you
mean,
gonna
that's
have behind the
fair.
wall,
I
right?
don't know. I don't buy it. I feel like after time, somehow that would have been discovered some way. I mean, 20 plus years. Come on, come
I
on.
think ended up being 19, wasn't it? Wasn't he at 19 years?
I think you're right. I think you're right because
So
I remember he was talking to Andy and he said 30 years. Gosh, when you say it like that, you wonder where it went. And
yeah,
so at that point, he had already known Red for what,
10 years, I think.
10 maybe years or so, because Red was a established man by the time Andy had got there. He had already been in that system. He had already known everybody. He was the man who knew how to get things. Like, he already had a place there. uh,
Yeah,
so that makes me think that he had to have at least been there for 10 years before him, at least 10, to get that
yeah,
kind of image and reputation. I mean,
yeah.
that's just me.
So Gfo says define complacent, showing smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. Okay, when I mean complacent is more like they
Complacent
kind of
actions, not
yeah,
complacent, not complacent in their own. Like, they're
yeah.
not. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I didn't realize that's what the adjective meant. But yeah, like they get to like be like oh, okay, whatever. They're not doing anything. I'm gonna just not pay attention or whatever. And then something
Yeah.
happens, you know.
Well, that
So
I feel like that's the start of everything. You see somebody do it this one way, then you're like, oh, okay, well, that's okay, and you know
yeah, yeah. And
that is that's a very. I mean, that makes sense now that you put it that way.
well, there's a reason I have a job, right? Because
Yeah.
if we're all smug, having or showing an excessive pride in oneself or one's achievement. Yeah, okay.
If that were the case, then you would never have to do anything. You would never
I
be anywhere.
I know, and that's what Ken. I mean, Ken kind of like exaggerates, I guess, but he's like, if people would just do the job, you wouldn't have a job. I'm like, well, I would still have a job, but it'd make it a lot easier, because a lot of times the reason every time there is an issue that goes on in the hospital is because someone didn't follow the policy that they should have
And most of
followed.
the time, it's probably something that could have easily been avoided.
But we get in that routine, and we get busy, and we get just whatever, and that's when mistakes happen. And there's no fault to anybody, anybody who makes the mistake. I mean, I've made
Yeah.
mistakes when I was a nurse too.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no, I appreciate your research all the time, people.
And
Always
this is
researching.
another thing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh no, no, I'm done. Go
I,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, another nitpick that I had for this movie. Why do we have the same guards the entire time? None of these guys got promotions, new jobs, new careers. Like you're gonna be a prison guard your entire life? I don't buy it. You know
You,
that.
you, well, you never know. I mean, people, if they have a good job, or and some people aren't as ambitious as other people. Not everyone's ambitious
And
to try to.
I'm sure that not the what was the other guard? What was his name? It started with the H. The one that shot the boy.
Oh, I forget his name. Hi, Josh. Thanks for coming in.
He like he must have been making extra money to be the one to pull the trigger to to do all these terrible things. You know, he was probably getting a little extra something, so it was probably valuable to him. But we had the same guards the entire time those guys were there. And it just, I don't know. I was like, what the heck, man?
And no one aged.
No one aged, not a damn bit. This is before like we could actually have the technology to age somebody, of course, like we do now. But nonetheless, nobody aged. I mean, Morgan Freeman looks the same today as he did in this movie.
Well,
So,
he always looked good. I mean,
no, yeah,
he's probably like what in his 80s, and he probably still looks 40.
late 80s, early 90s. He's got to
Yeah,
be.
he always looks good.
Because
So,
driving Miss Daisy, that was, gosh, 1980, 79, and he looked the same then as he did in Shawshank. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah,
It's
he
crazy.
hasn't changed a bit, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just assuming or whatever, but um, I don't think is the type of person, at least in his movies, that he would go get Botox and stuff to um look younger, and get work like women do to try to stay.
I don't know if that's his cup of tea. I just think that he's just
Yeah,
aged very well. He's like a fine
yeah,
wine.
yeah.
And
I think you're right. I don't think
what's
he's all
your
into the.
yeah? Well, what's your favorite Morgan Freeman movie?
Um, this is one of them. I would have to say. Um,
Certainly.
I love what is it? Kiss the Girls, or it's one of those. He has a series. It was like Kiss the Girls, and then it was something else. I really like those.
As a lead man, this is probably my favorite movie of his, and The Bucket List. I really liked The
Oh,
Bucket List.
yeah,
That was
that
a
was a
great
great one
movie,
too.
and then as a supporting role, my favorite movie with him is Bruce Almighty with
Oh, with the
Jim
Jim Carrey.
Carrey. Yeah, yeah, I really like that movie too.
Yeah, Along Came the Spider and Kiss the Girls. It was those two, right, Ken?
I
Yeah,
believe so.
those were really good. I like them. And one of my other favorites with Denzel Washington that's kind of similar to that is The Bone Collector. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, that's a very, oh my goodness. That movie's terrible. Have you seen The Lovely Bones?
Yes, I saw that one. I didn't really
Ugh,
like that one. But
they're so
the
sad.
Bone Collector was so good. How was that terrible?
No, I mean, it's just not that it was terrible. That was a bad word to use. I meant like this what happened. It was
Oh, yeah,
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 like a great movie. I mean, it's not a bad movie.
yeah. I
Just
like how, like,
terrible what happened.
how good he investigates and he finds it.
He's so good at his job.
Hmm. But
Anything that Morgan Freeman, I mean, just put Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, put one of them on the movie and it's a hit already. Just they don't even
yeah,
have to do anything. They just need to show up and just
yeah,
play themselves. That's
yeah.
it.
And so, what's your favorite part of the movie for Shawshank Redemption?
Oh gosh. Probably just the way that you watch it all unfold, like the ending to going towards the ending, like from the point of his breakout, like I mean the night that he's telling him I'm just about finished, sir, and he's putting those up and shining his shoes, and I I think from that point until Red gets out, that's my favorite part right there.
Hmm.
And then Red telling the story about, you go ahead and stamp your paper, Sonny, because I truly don't give a shit. If that was me and that happened to me, I would have been so pissed because I'd have said that 10 years ago, 20 years ago,
I know, right?
man, okay, how many years had it been since he had saw Andy again? How long had it been,
I
would you
I don't know.
say?
It doesn't.
No, it
I would
doesn't,
have.
but I'm asking you. What do you
I
think?
would have. I was thinking maybe a year or so.
A year, that's it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I
Because
think
he was
he
already
cuz he
in
had to
jail
go
for
up
four.
for but he just had left the parole board like not even a year before that, and that was after 30 years and they denied him. So how long did he have to wait to go up to the board again is what I want to
I
know. It had to have been at least 5 years is what I'm at least
maybe
5. And
maybe.
after that time, he's established man now. He's not even yeah.
So
Uh, excuse me. Go ahead.
Jifu is defining his words, which I appreciate. Job, a paid position of regular employment, a task or a piece of work, especially one that is paid, a responsibility or duty. Informal meaning a difficult task. Informal meaning a procedure to improve the appearance of something, especially an operation involving plastic surgery.
All
Yes.
righty.
And Ken, yeah, Freeman is a great actor. Bruce Almighty, Paprika says, the escape and shock is the best part. Um,
I
Informal meaning a
agree.
thing of a
the
specific kind.
The escape was my favorite for sure, and the part that made me the saddest, I felt like we just didn't need it, was certainly what's his name's death.
Yeah, I
Uh,
did. I don't like that part. That part
we
could have
didn't
been.
even need to see that. We didn't even need that to happen. He
Yeah.
could have he could have just like died in his bed sadly. I would have rather it went that way. I mean, but that's just that's another piece of this movie that makes it so great is because they probably depicted it very well. Yeah.
Well, and I think the reason why they added that scene is that's what broke broke the straw. What's that? Oh my gosh, my mind's going blank. Is the last straw that broke the camel's back or whatever is for Andy to say, "Screw it, this is the night I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm screwing them over." And I'm wondering if all along he was being legit, helping the guards out, and then as soon as they shot the kid, that's when he cooked the books to go in his favor, and he's like, "I'm out, and I'm taking all their money."
I agree 100%. I think that was the point. That was his real breaking point. Was that
Hmm.
after sitting in solitary for 1 month, and then he comes and he talks to him and tells him, he says, "I'm done. Get somebody else to run your scams." And then he tells him that it's not going to stop. Well, That was the point where Andy, I felt like he at some point that first time, that first month in solitary, that's where he decided I'm done. I'm getting out of here. When I'm out of solitary, I'm leaving.
Yep.
And uh like it was just it had to have been the same day that he found out that that boy had been murdered. That's my personal opinion. So,
Yeah.
with that, everything past that point was just a scam or part of his plan. He had the ultimate plan all along, which was excuse me, bust through the wall and escape somehow. I mean, I don't know how he figured out that plan up to that point. I mean, after you get through the wall, how did he know what was behind the wall? How did he know where to go? And I don't know.
Well, he probably um after he got dug that whole tunnel, he probably was like looking out, like looking and scoping it out, and then came back, and then I'm sure he's did that a couple times before he decided I'm leaving.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. I agree.
And he's probably like, oh great, my only escape is to break this pipe and go through the all that crap, literally.
Ugh,
And
literally doo doo.
yeah, and
I could only imagine. I could only imagine. That would irritate me.
look at that hammer. It's not like I can escape. Yes, and when he said that, that's right. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research.
Did we copyright something?
I don't think so. People, did we copyright something?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But 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 anyway, so what does everybody rate the movie? And what is your favorite part? Ken told
Man,
us his
this
favorite part.
this movie is hard because okay, so you got to think Shawshank beats Pulp Fiction this year. They both came out the same year and it beats it for the
Yep.
Oscar. That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. I don't understand how he did not. I mean, honestly, between the two, Pulp Fiction wins. I mean, I gotta say that because it's sitting right there on my wall. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Pulp Fiction, Pulp Fiction.
Ken says a 5 out of 4. What do you rate it?
5 out of 4, totally. Such a good movie, but Pulp Fiction gets 6 out of 4.
Oh my goodness. No, it's Shawshank Redemption. I
It's so
love John
hard. I
Travolta
mean,
too.
yeah, it's hard whenever you know what other movies came out that year and what it beat. But yeah, man, it's so hard to say that that is not the best movie of that year because it's so close to. I just can't. This is one where I'm just gonna sit on the fence and watch y'all argue about it because I can't choose. I love both those movies very, very much.
Well, it's not about which one's better. It's about what do you rate the movie.
Oh, well, yeah, rate it 5 out of 4.
Okay, me too.
Well, then
I
let's ask, which one's better, Pulp Fiction or Shawshank? Came out the same year, and Shawshank wins
Shawshank,
the Oscar.
Shawshank.
No, I can't.
This is a rematchable move, iconic and moral story to boot. Yes, Ken. Hi, Didi. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Keep
Hey,
the
Dee
word
Dee.
murder cash. Yeah, don't say it too much. Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm sure. I forgot. Thank you, J-Pop.
Well, I've said it pretty. We're talking about a movie and what happened in the movie, so that it doesn't get more casual than that. We're not saying we're gonna go and do that to somebody. We're literally talking about a movie, so that couldn't be copyright or slander or whatever. It's,
Yeah.
this is the most casual way to use the word.
Yeah, no, I understand you, Paul. Thank you. Um, oh, that's all right, Dee Dee. Hi, Alyssa. Thanks for coming in. So, I give it a, obviously a 4 out of 4, or 5 out of 4 too. Obviously there's some nitpicks in there, like we said, is like,
hmm
how did he really get away with that for how many years? I mean, they kind of show you,
19.
how he said he took a pile of and every day and like put it in his pocket and like when he was walking let the rocks out
Yeah,
and
so let the rocks out of his pocket. That was his. That
yeah,
was Andy's pastime. Was taking pieces of his cell out to the yard. That's what they said.
yep, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, G-Fo, yeah, YouTube is um picky. But yeah, that and how he I like the part where they're like because at the end when he had to shine that guy's shoes and he wore them and he's like because nobody really pays attention to your shoes, a man's
Yeah. How
shoes or
often
whatever.
do you really look at a man's shoes?
Yeah.
Um, I today's day that doesn't boast as so true because a lot of people, that's all they do. They're about their shoes, and so I think that comment didn't age as well. People look at people's shoes nowadays. That's just what it is. People definitely look at your
Well,
shoes.
I dare you tomorrow to go to work with different shoes on each foot and see if anybody notices.
How many people notice?
Yes,
That's a
Chief.
good
Oh, yeah.
idea. That's a good idea. I might do that just to see. Let's put that to the test. One of these
Yeah.
days, I'm gonna go to work with the two different shoes on and see what people think. See what they say. That'd be
Now you'll
funny.
be looking at shoes, Didi. I know, right? It's like whoever looked at a man's shoes, or however he said it. I can't remember. But yeah, that I love that part too. And my favorite part is the end of how he got away and the look on the warden's face when he throws the rock and it like makes a little hole and he's like and then
Yeah.
he lifts it up and
Man up and vanished like a
and
fart in the
and,
wind.
and he's just like looking in the hole like
Sticks
you've
his
got to
finger
be
down
kidding
it.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
I
Yes,
I thought it was
happy
funny.
Wednesday.
That the funniest part of the whole movie. Um. Well, what did you think? What do you think the funniest part?
Um, I think that part was like hilarious was when
Just him noticing it.
yeah, the look on his face.
I'm gonna say Haywood finding the petrified horse
Oh
patty. Yeah,
yeah.
picking it up. He's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, will this one work? That's a horse apple." Bullshit. No
Yeah.
horse shit. It's petrified.
Yes. Yes, it is a happy Wednesday, Chiefo. It did yeah.
Happy, happy, happy.
And we don't judge either. It, you know, pe people that are judgmental, I think, are insecure. And so, I I tried,
There's obviously something in their life that they're trying to distract you or to pull the attention away from. I've
yeah,
noticed that a lot. People that have a
instead
lot
of,
to say have a lot going on behind the closed doors.
yeah, I try to manage people up and I try to always, be positive to people and try to say good things to them. Oh, it's okay, J4.
Well,
But
it's almost an obligation to you know, to I guess, well, maybe not really like an obligation. Like you're not forced on. It's not forced onto you. But I don't. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I explain for me. Use your words.
yeah. Well, yeah, like people, some people just feel like they have to judge because they're insecure. Like it'll make them feel better or look better or whatever if they're judging someone else. But if you really are if you're really like, yeah, like a leader, Ken, um, if instead of like being judgmental to people, I'm building them up. That's gonna go more a long way than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
oh,
be the person that brings everybody down around you. Just don't be that person. It's
oh.
not.
I can't stand it when people are late, Chief. Well, when you are supposed to be at work, you're supposed to be at work, not come in like 10 minutes late or whatever, because especially when I was working on the floor as a nurse, our shifts were 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, by 7 p.m., I want that nurse there at 7 p.m. so I can
So
give
I can
my
go.
so I can get
I
my
want. I would want
yeah.
my nurse there at 7:40. I mean 6:45, like 15 minutes prior to the 15 minutes. Like,
Well, they can't start till 7, but at 7 o'clock we could start a report, and I wanted to start my report at 7 p.m. so I'm out by 7:30 p.m. And or when I work night shift, it was 7 a.m. to
see, that's
7:30.
where that's how they should that's one thing I don't like, how companies take advantage of you like that. They'll say it's a 12-hour shift, but when as soon as you're done with your shift, you have to do all this other little ticky-tacky stuff. No, don't do that to me. Just set it to where the next person is supposed to be here at 6:30 so that by the time 7 comes around, I'm done. I can go home, you know.
Yes.
That would
Yeah.
be that's how I would run my business personally, but I don't,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, now that I'm salary, I don't really have a set time, but
Yeah.
I still try to be there by like 7:30 or
Mm.
7:45. Even before 8 o'clock, as long as I'm there before 8, I feel
How
like,
long is
okay,
your commute now? Is it far again?
no, it's only 3 miles. So the 3 miles
Oh,
maybe takes 10 minutes, maybe. So yeah, I mean, I'm salary. Our first meeting doesn't start till 8:30, but like to be there at 7:30, 7:45, just to try to get my day started before the meeting. And yeah, so
that's good dedication. I don't have that. That's where I founder the most uh is waking up on time, or being set and being true to what time I said I was going to be up, and then just doing whatever. That's usually how I end up being, but I
yeah,
I'm looking to break that.
yeah. Yes, a good
uh,
leader knows how to maintain and keep a schedule as long as everything yes, and that's what I try to do. I try to be consistent so people know I'm going to be about what time I'm going to be in, and I'm going to be, I'm going to leave at this time of day. I try to be consistent so people can depend on me, you know. So, and there's some, as you know, everywhere you go, there's some leaders that come in and probably right at the 8:30 mark and the oh my gosh, just one hospital was this guy, one of the leaders. He would come in at like 10 a.m. and leave by 3. But
oh
then
wow.
he claimed that he would like was so busy and he was short staffed and all this other stuff, and that's why he couldn't get stuff done. And I'm like, no, dude, you're coming in at 10 and leaving at 3. If you're that busy, you would be coming in at least 8 to 4:30 like everybody else does, man. But and that
Yeah,
hospital was falling
I
apart.
agree. I can agree with that too. I notice the earlier I get up, the more time I have to do more work. That's obvious.
Yeah. Well, like, but that hospital was falling apart too, and it was a lot of it was because of him. I couldn't
Oh,
wait to
it's
get
so
out.
terrible. I hate
That
that.
hospital, yeah, that hospital was one of the worst hospitals I worked at. I was so happy to leave that hospital.
Have you ever left any because like you were like, I'm not doing this?
No, the last every hospital I've even if it was bad, I stayed until my contract was over, except for my last one. And I actually loved the one I was in Illinois, but I had to leave so I could come to here so I can get the experience with the big system and get my
Yeah.
open doors and stuff. That's the only reason and that was the only time I've ever left a job. And I actually loved that job. I loved everybody I worked
How
with.
how
The
many
job
how
was
many
fun.
states how many states has your job taken you to?
So, as an interim leader, I've worked twice in California, Washington, Washington twice, Massachusetts once, um,
I remember
Mid
that.
Midland, Texas once,
Hey, I know
um,
that place.
um, and then Illinois and now Florida.
Hmm. Oh, so you really haven't been on this job very long, have you?
Well, I've been doing interim 3 years, but prior to that, I worked at corporate and I went to for their hospitals. But it wasn't like assignments like I'm doing now. Like it was like I go there for the week or whatever and do whatever. And
Right.
so I went to Arizona, Utah, um, um, many places in Texas because Christus and Stewart had big presence in Texas, so I was in Texas a lot. Um, Arkansas, Texarkana, Louisiana. Um,
That's a lot of places.
let's see, Massachusetts, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Jeez.
I think that's it.
How long were you at that job?
Well, I was at Christus for a year and a half, so I would travel throughout their hospitals. And then I was at Stewart for 3.5 years, and I would do oh yeah, New Mexico too. Thank you, Ken. I knew I was
Yeah.
forgetting another state.
Where
So
where where did you go in New Mexico?
Santa Fe,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
I don't know if you
yeah.
knew I was born in New Mexico.
No, I did not.
Yeah, I was born in a little town called Clovis.
Oh, never heard of it. Jifu says, yeah, the earlier you get up, then the more time you would have during the day to do things. So that means gonna have to plan on when to go to bed at good times too. Know your boundaries. Yes, that's why like I try to be in bed by like at least lay down, lights off at 9 o'clock, and usually I'm still on my phone though for
I wish
at
I
least an
had that.
hour.
I wish I had that discipline. I just ain't. I don't have it. I'm.
Well,
I'll sit even whenever I'm like trying to play my video game. Sometimes I'll just catch myself playing on my phone.
Well, that's my problem. I'll have lights out, but I'll still put it on my phone, and next thing I know, it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jamie, you gotta go to bed. And Ken's always yelling at me to stay off my phone because that's what keeps me up. And of course, then I'm tired when I have to wake up in the morning. So I
So
need
weird
to,
how that works, isn't it?
yeah. But I had less discipline at your age because, well, I was working two jobs, going to school, and raising a family when I was your age. So I
Yeah.
didn't have time for sleep. So,
You didn't get to. Most of your time was spent at work, and then you come home to do more work.
yeah, yeah,
That's Cheyenne right now. Gosh, she's so. I feel bad for my sister.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard being pregnant, especially in Texas heat and working and everything else.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh, such
I'm
a
sure she's
drag.
miserable. Yeah, at least I try to at least lay down at my set time every night. Like and I try to say, "Okay, Ken, I'm going to bed. Good night. Love you." So at least I'm off the phone with him. Well, sometimes I like to yap more to him, but yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how Yeah, I don't know how he does it. He goes to bed at 10 or 11 and gets up at 4 or 5. And like sometimes when he has to pick me up from the airport, like this last time, I didn't get into the airport until midnight, so we got home about 1:30 in the morning. And then we were, of course, then he has to have his beer and tries to go to bed. He probably didn't get to sleep till like 2,
Oh
and
God.
he was up still by 5 or 6. It's like, how do you do it, dude? And he doesn't even work, so it's not like he has to. It's like, dude, sleep in.
I don't sleep in very long either. And Natalie hates. Ooh,
Yeah,
excuse me. She hates that about me. I will stay up on Saturday at 9 o'clock, just to go and do something, get something taken care of, and she's like, "Oh, I just want to sleep in," and I'm like, "I can't do that.
yeah.
Don't
And
have that luxury."
when your body's used to it, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you
Hmm.
may not always fall asleep at the same time, but to just cock your feet up at your set time can be nice. Yes. Just yeah, I know, Ken. I don't know what you I wish you could fall asleep a little bit more. But okay, we got to figure out what movie we're going to do next week.
Oh goodness, holy cow, we didn't. Uh, Pulp Fiction. We could do Pulp Fiction.
Chat, what do you want to do?
I'm just kidding. I always leave it. I always leave the chat to to pick. And I mean, if we do Pulp Fiction, we might as well just end the movie podcast because it doesn't get much better than that, baby.
Oh my goodness. I love
It
John
doesn't get
Travolta,
much
but
more rewatchable than that.
I love John Travolta, but I watched that movie a couple times and I don't think I always completely understood it. Bentley
It is a
says
movie
Jaws.
that is just total. It's purely just a run of references from other movies and things that have happened. That's kind of what Quentin Tarantino's thing is. He'll take bits and pieces from his favorite movies or favorite scenes, and then he'll throw them together into his own story while creating a homage to whatever this movie was that meant so much to him growing up. He does that a lot.
Okay, so Bentley says Jaws. Ken saying The Notebook. What's everybody else saying?
Jaws, man, what a good movie. It's a
Da-
classic.
Daddy's Home, Melissa says. So Bentley
Daddy's
says Jaws.
Home.
Jaws, Notebook, Daddy's Home.
Can we can we really call ourselves a movie podcast if we don't do Jaws?
Oh, so Dee Dee says Jaws.
Yeah,
Yep. G Fool says Jaws. I can hear the iconic music now. Uh-oh,
dun it.
it sounds like Bentley's winning. Yep, Jaws it is.
Yeah,
Bet
yeah. You go ahead. I'm taking Jaws as well. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, Bentley, you won.
Jaws, Jaws, Jaws.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I can't
Here we
sing.
go. We're back to Steven Spielberg again.
Oh, is that who did that?
Yep,
Yeah, Jaws
Steven Spielberg.
Jaws was a classic, yeah.
Oh,
And of
totally,
course, of
100%.
of course, then they had to like remake it somewhat and do the Meg and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh, that stuff was terrible.
He says, "Yay!" Oh, good. I'm glad, Bentley. Okay,
Yeah,
let's do one card of trivia.
one card.
Well, we only have 9 minutes.
Oh, okay, true. How many questions are on a card?
5.
Five. Hmm.
All right. First question.
Last time I
What
killed you guys, so you only got five chances.
what city lures carnivores? Did I already do this one? Yeah, I already did this
I don't know that one.
one. Oh, maybe I don't know. Which city lures carnivores to its neighborhood of? Yeah, I did that one. I'm not doing that. What Iron Chef kingpin begins each episode with the words, "If memory serves me"? Did I do that one too?
Is that Gordon Ramsay?
No, it was Chairman Kaga. I think I already did that one.
I
Okay,
don't know.
this one I know I didn't. Okay, what 23-foot long find made a marine biologist note in 2001? Very weird, really big fins, really long arms, and this tiny little body in heaven. Or little tiny. Oh my gosh, I can't read. Okay, very
Goodness.
weird, really big fins, really long arms, and this tiny little body in between.
I don't
20,
know.
23-foot long find that made a marine biologist note in 2001. Can't be nice. What 23-foot long find made a marine biologist note in 2001? Very weird, really big fins, really long arms, and this tiny little body in between. Any guesses?
No guess.
Anybody in the chat? Oh, thank you, Chief. I appreciate that. The answer is a squid.
Squid. I would have never got that.
What comic strips three female roomies depend upon the advice of Professor Aristotle Papagoras? What comic
I,
strips three female roomies depend upon the advice of Professor Aristotle Papagoras? Did you hear me say that, Alyssa?
no. Extra. Give it to Alyssa.
Very good, Alyssa. Okay, that was apartment 3Gs. That was that
I
answer.
didn't know that one. I would have never guessed that.
Me either. What couldn't you?
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I will be right back. Keep going.
Yeah, is that a dinosaur? I have no clue. What couldn't you stifle if you suddenly let loose with a sternutation? What couldn't you stifle if you suddenly let loose with a sternutation? Any guesses, anybody? Archie Bunker would always tell Edith to do on All
Sorry,
in the
Natalie
Family.
took off. I had to go and uh, say bye to her real quick.
Aw, how sweet. Um, the answer is a sneeze. A sneeze. Okay.
Achoo!
What blockbuster billionaire became the first baseball owner honored as Billboard magazine's Man of the Year?
Team owner.
What blockbuster billionaire became the first baseball owner honored as Billboard magazine's Man of the Year?
Jay-Z.
Nope.
Dang it. I don't know.
H. Wayne Huizenga.
I'd have never
Okay.
known that.
The riddle of the night, you guys can start getting the quote. Is why did people want to set to? I cannot read. Why did people want to see Coca-Cola in concert?
So they get free refills.
Nope. A lot of money today. Yeah. Why did people want to see Coca-Cola in concert?
Uh, that's a tough one.
Think of the what the Midwestern people like me call
Choose, excuse me. Pop
Coca-Cola.
star. Pop.
Yes. Very
Pop
good.
star.
Because it was a pop star. People like me, the Midwesterners who call pop pop.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Very good. Okay, any last words for the chat, Blake?
Thank you guys for staying interactive with us, helping us pick a movie for next week. It's always good to see you guys. I look forward to it every week. Make sure you tell your friends and their friends tell their friends that we have a podcast that we are so close to being monetized. And even if you never watch another episode again, you should because it's awesome. But we certainly would love another follow. Tell your friends, share it on your Facebook, share the page. Any certain anything at all will help. So, thank you.
All right, and you guys re- really help us out by staying interactive, and I appreciate that so much. I appreciate it. Um, and remember, the movie's going to be Jaws, and remember, you're all beautiful outside and inside. Don't let anyone else make you think differently. And the quote of the night is from Clint Eastwood: "We boil at different degrees." Yes. So you guys have a great night, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.